Pakistan, where the country's been battling some ravaging floods. And according to reports that have come in so far, at least about 900 people in Pakistan have been killed in these recent floods, including 343 children. And also, according to estimates, at least about 30 million people across Pakistan have been left without shelter due to the incessant rainfall that has now induced a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions. The Pakistani government has declared a national emergency officially, and according to the latest data that has been compiled by Pakistan's National Disaster Management Authority, the Sindh province has reported the highest number of fatalities. At least 300 people have lost their lives in this one province alone due to the floods and other rain-related incidents since the 14th of June. Balochistan has reported another 230 deaths, whereas the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province and Punjab together have recorded 185 and 165 deaths respectively.
We are retrieving our belongings. Our bedding, cupboards and everything else is here. We are helping ourselves. We did not get anything except a tent. I don't know where to fix it because it's raining continuously. The rain that started last evening is continuing till now.
Now, the Pakistani Minister for Climate Change has said that a war room has now been established to spearhead the relief operations. She further added that Pakistan is going through its 8th cycle of monsoon. Normally, the country has only about 3 to 4 cycles of monsoon rains in a year.
This is a humanitarian disaster of epic proportions. Thousands are without shelter, many are without food, and people are stranded. We need to ask not just the provinces and Islamabad, it is beyond the capacity of any one administration or government to rehabilitate and even manage the rescue and relief.
According to the Pakistani authorities, in August, the country has witnessed nearly about 241% spike in rainfall. The worst hit regions include the likes of Sindh and Balochistan that have witnessed 784% increase and also a 496% increase in the amount of rainfall that they have experienced. Now, the incessant rainfall has also generated flash floods across the country, leaving several parts of southern Pakistan almost completely inundated. Now, as per the government's preliminary rapid needs assessment report, the country requires at least about $329 million to provide immediate relief to the flood-hit regions, where nearly about 184,000 people have been displaced and are presently living in some relief camps.
You can see these houses. Everything has been destroyed. All household, boxes, clothes, nothing could be saved. No one came here to offer sympathy. No government official came to us to ask whether we could save our children, our wheat, our livestock. Everything has been ruined.
And also to give us more updates in terms of what's exactly happening in these rain-affected areas in Pakistan, we're being joined in by my colleague Anas Malik, who's joining us live from Islamabad. Anas, we've just seen the scale of devastation that's been caused by the flooding that's taken place, especially in Sindh and Balochistan. Bring us up to speed with how bad the things actually are for the people who've been stuck in these latest round of floods.
The situation is quite bad. 1 out of 7 Pakistanis at this point of time, as per the latest data, is sleeping without shelter. That means that they're sleeping in the open, and that means that they've been affected because of this recent flooding. I've got some data with me. There have been more than 947 deaths, and the death toll continues to increase. More than 3,000 people have been injured. The livestock that has been killed amounts to about 793,995. This is accounted for. Again, the houses that are damaged, that have been accounted for, it stands at 670,328. The road infrastructure that has been damaged, that expands up to 3,082 kilometers. More than 152 bridges have collapsed as a reason of these floods, and small dams that have been breached, they're about more than 30. This is what the official data says, and more than 35 million people are now estimated to have been displaced because of these floods. So this goes on to explain the amount of calamity that has been inflicted upon in this region particularly. I'll just give you an example. In Swat, in the northern side, in the province of KP, in 2010, when we saw floods over there, Swat River had an outflow of water of about 210,000 cusecs. Now, 12 years down the line, that is the ongoing floods, in 2022, we've got the flow of water at 228,000 cusecs of water, and it continues to increase. So this goes on to show the magnitude of the damage or the destruction that these floods continue to inflict on Pakistan and the people of Pakistan.
Absolutely, indeed. Now, unless Pakistan has declared a state of emergency, the government has said that it is trying its very best to try and provide relief to the people who've been affected very badly in the floods. What has the Pakistani government done for nearly an estimated 30 million people who are said to be without shelter at this point of time because of the floods?
Well, the government has gone on to war footings. It won't be wrong to say. Just as I talk to you, the Prime Minister has departed for an aerial visit to parts of Sindh, in Sakhar, in Nawabshah, and elsewhere. As we're talking, the update just came in. The Prime Minister, the Chief Ministers, the Ministers, all of them have been out there, trying to help their constituents, but the scale of the disaster is so big that Pakistan is not prepared to deal with it. Earlier today we saw that, we heard and rather saw a tweet from the Prime Minister himself, Shehbaz Sharif. He said that he met the ambassadors and high commissioners of different different countries in Pakistan, and he has briefed them. The NDMA, the National Disaster Management Authority, have been briefing, and the only relief or reprieve right now is Pakistan is looking towards the international community, because it's battling a worst of the worst of its kind of an economic crisis. So it's not equipped enough to deal with such a disaster, and that's the reason they're more dependent, or rather codependent, on the aid or on the relief that comes in from the international community. Saleh.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Anas Malik, for joining us and getting us all those updates there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.